Hey, I said I wanted to go back through, flip the script, and expand on it a little more. I love that piece, but could tell there was a lot in there that I hadn't thought about for a minute. But I like hearing what was behind a person's lyrics. So flip the script starts out like this. I be, you be, we be, he be, she be. We create language and down at flip the script, recreating homegrown it. No shame and I game. I be, you be, we be, he be, she be. We create language and down at flip the script, recreating homegrown it. No shame and I game. Okay, so yeah, that's like I think what's known as Black vernacular English. When we say I be going to the store, you be meeting me in certain places. I be, you be, we be having a good time. I be, you be, we be, he be doing too much. I be, you be, we be, he be, she be. And she be cooking some real good food. To be, just because I've noticed sometimes even when we're talking about how you be. In other words, how do you exist in the world? Just the essence of you, how you carry yourself, what what principles you have, what morals you have, what motivations you have, how you be in the world. All right, so let's see. We don't care who we looking, we be cooking it up nice and hot at poetry spots. Oh well. Lock no doors before you place all four eyes on the poet who knows it and flows it. Machete amor. So let's see. Yeah, I'm remembering those days at the Patty Hut. That's the only place I really went where there was live music. It was a band there and it was crowded. We were at this Jamaican restaurant. The food was so good, man. The atmosphere was bomb. I remember the people there, it's a bunch of artists and students. So the style, the fashion, the atmosphere, it just was nice. It was nice. And so it was nice to hear what different people had to say because in the work is their experience. In the work is their feelings about it. Sometimes people are just expressing a perspective. Sometimes people are expressing just pure emotion. A lot of times they're telling a story. In many ways, to tell a story, and that's definitely a good thing. I just got finished working out with my trainer, and I don't do that workout fast. Got on the bike at the end, was like I was dancing through the movement. Okay, so anyway. What else I want to say? Okay. I be, you be, we be, he be, she be. We don't care who be looking, we be cooking it up nice and hot at poetry spots. It's true. It's like it's a place where you can express things that you wouldn't express in another setting. I mean, I think that's the power of music and performance in general. Spoken word poetry, when you're performing it live, a lot of times has a more theatrical element to it. It's, yes, there's the music there, but it really is, there are a lot of other elements to it. Sometimes we sing with it. There's definitely, I would set the scene for whatever it was I was going to do. That's kind of my background is theater. So that's a natural progression. So let me see. We don't care who be looking. We be cooking them nice hot. Lock no doors before you place all fours on a poet who knows it and flows it. Yeah, yeah. Sharing insights through that flow of rhythm and language. Who knows it and flows in my shady and more. You adore he who goes before me and ignore who he be in the mainstream. Yeah, because to be honest, there's some people that you don't want to hear from. Like if you just saw him, he just came up to you and started talking, you'd be like, right? Or we know that in the mainstream, like he doesn't fit I guess if you're talking about in a professional environment, for example, he doesn't fit that into that box. So in that context, or another thing we call mainstream white America, he wouldn't fit in that box. The what they call respectability politics and all that. I don't know if people still playing respectability politics, but there's something about the talent, the rhythm, the ability to communicate a message with the rhymes you chime from your full lips. In other words, you're saying it something, but you're saying it with rhymes, and then it's rhythmic on top of it. So that's fascinating in and of itself. And then don't be don't be saying some deep shit on top of it. So that's what that line means. You adore he who goes before me and ignore who he be in the mainstream. See, because ears open wide to hear the rhymes he chimes from his full lips. I think that's kind of what's taking hip hop around the world. This brother be hip as in up on what's happening now. Hip hop dropped the knowledge that used to be what hip hop was. Hip hop was dropping the knowledge, and if I put it like that, if to be hip is to what they call being woke, is to be woke. Like, I think that's the thing that people don't necessarily understand or grasp about the experience of Black people in America. There are things that we have to be attuned to survive, and there are a lot of ways that we don't fit in the mainstream, and so, but we have to be aware of what it is in order for us to survive. But the way it's set up, we can't completely survive in it. We have to have our own space. So our world is, I guess, a really complex world. And yeah. So hip hop, if you think about it like that, at least how it started out, it was being hip to the reality of what was going on as opposed to the lies that we're told consistently. And that hop, I guess, would be indicative of the rhythm and the beat. Hip hop dropped the knowledge. Hip hop dropped the knowledge. Pop the dollars at the door so you can hear some more. Then go home and write rhymes better than before. Because fat rhymes, read it. These are trying times. But that line, pop the dollars at the door so you can hear some more. Then go home and write rhymes better than before. Pop the dollars at the door, obviously paying admission to come into the poetry spot. But but the hotness is that iron sharpens iron. And that's why it's important for artists to be around each other. Because the more we're exposed to artists who are interested in really continuing to develop their craft, The more insight we get, the more experience we get, the more inspiration we're privy to. And pop the dollars at the door so you can hit some more and go home and write rhymes better than before. Yes, these are still trying times. Fat rhymes, read it. These are trying times. No minds needed, only words heated in this holy space. And this space is no place to hold your head down in disgrace. Nah, ain't no shame in our game. No shame in our game. Ain't no shame in our game. I love that sentiment. It's that place where you come to, where you could just be you. All of you. Bring all of you in here. All of your blackness, your nappy hair, your your speech patterns, whatever they may be. Let's talk about whatever it is you want to talk about, whether it's an intellectual pursuit or just playing with language so that we can laugh, or airing out what bothers us, Yeah. So next verse, let me see after that, we go one more time. I be, you be, we be, he be, she be, we. Create language and sound and flip the script. Create homegrown and no shame and I can. I be, you be, we be, he be, she be, we. Create language and sound and flip the script. Create homegrown, no shame and I can. Oh, and homegrown, I like that. What does that mean? Oh. Well, the initial lyric was we recreate and bone it. That was the original. That was the original version, and I tried to make it a little bit more PG. But either way, it's kind of the same thing. It's like we create language and own it. And then we'll flip it, recreate it, and give it new life. That's the thing. We give it new life. And then, so, I'm always listening out for it. And that may be for the new, I hear a new phrase, a new way of people saying a thing. And that's it. That's the culture. That's the cultures. That constant adjustment, constant recreation, constant energy flow and giving new life to things. Hold your head up high and own your own truth. Raise the roof with voices instead of choices to suffer in silence. And oh, aren't we in that kind of time right now? People have to raise their voices. Yes, absolutely. Time for self-hate and violence is over. With your words like a Range Rover, cover so much terrain, folks go insane. Well, I don't know if the Range Rovers aren't that popular these days, but I wrote Flipt the Script, I don't know, a while back. It was popular back then. But hold your head up high and own your own truth. Raise the roof of voices instead of choices to suffer in silence. Yeah, that's the poetry spot. Self-hate does lead to violence if it's self-sabotage and destruction. And when you are feeling that, then that's what you emanate. It is what it is. It is what it is. Time for self-hating is over with. Your words like a Range Rover covers so much terrain, folks go straight sane. See, I changed it to they don't go insane because we got a lot of insanity going on around us. So I had changed that lyric to so folks go straight sane with each phrase you be spinning. See, now you winning the game. Neither will you nor we be the same because we no longer settle. No longer is our claim to fame simply to break these chains or to maintain, but to name and claim and change our place on the earth plane. Why? Ain't no shame in our game. No shame in our game. Ain't no shame in our game. I think that's pretty straightforward. The world knows that Black people in America have had to fight tooth and nail for human rights. And but it's a new day. It's a new day. And we're not only fighting to break the chains or just to maintain the status quo, but to name and claim and change our place on this earth plane. Why? Because ain't no shame in our game. You know, part of oppression is the idea is putting in you the idea that there's something wrong with you, that who and what you are is inferior, that somehow you're not capable. But we know better. So we don't have no shame in our game. We know they still talking about us. We know, that a lot of effort has been put into being in church early on. My grandmother used to make us go to church. And I remember those messages in the Bible saying that we were cursed. And I was like, I don't know who they talking to because they're not talking to me. The real interest, I was like 5. So I never really accepted that. But what that would be the sanity when you get to the point where you understand who and what you are. I know I'm blessed, highly favored. I know who and what I am. And so, nah. See, hold your head up high on your own truth. Raise the roof of voices instead of choices to suffer in silence. Time for self-hate and violence is over. With your words like a Range Rover, cover so much terrain, folks they go straight sane with each phrase you be spinning. See, now you win the game. Neither will you nor we be the same, because we no longer settle. No longer is our claim to fame simply to break these chains, but to name and claim and change our place on this earth plane. Okay. Next verse. Our virtual creativity be the reality for linguists, scientists to study and rewrite dictionaries after decades of them claiming our words. They don't exist, they don't exist, and this in the midst of them wishing our sun-kissed lips belong to them. They don't exist now. That's pretty straightforward. That's pretty straightforward. We see it. We see them out there trying to get their skin to look like ours. We see it. We see the tanning. We see the Botox. What is that? The lip fillers. We see the BBL. We see all that. We see it. Okay. We also have been like for a long time. It's just Black people are the scapegoats of American society. And there's always criticism about everything we do, and yet they always watching everything we do to say what they can take next. What can we make money off that y'all do? Y'all are creative people, but we're not going to give you credit for any of that. We're just going to make money off of you. So that's what it's been. That's what it's been. Every time we've built something, like financial institutions, everybody knows about Black Wall Street, but we built many communities that were burned down, destroyed by the government, not by just some rogue people over there, by the government. And it lets you know that the place that, at one time I said the system wasn't built for us, but that's kind of not true. It's just that it was built on us being, let's say, the resource, right? our energy, our creativity, our everything that we are is what America uses to make money. That's what made America great. That's what's made millionaires and billionaires, and you know, um, created full industries. So that thing of keeping us in a position where we can't make money off of our own creativity. There's always somebody there to take it and patent and put their name on it, and they make the money off of it. There's always somebody there to poison the well somehow. Even you look at the music industry right now. Hip hop started out as the voice of the people. It was very encouraging and uplifting. And then I remember when it turned into this same um, scourge, meaning the messages that were getting the music companies behind it, where it's being pushed and they're getting paid for real, are degenerate violence, hatred, putting women down, calling us nasty names, pushing murder, the destruction of our communities, essentially, in music, right? And that's the form that's been uplifted. That's the form that the money goes behind, because there's always that thing of not wanting our communities to flourish on their own, where and I'm noticing it's the same thing in Africa. We're part of the experience that we're having in America is a part of a larger experience. They're having that same experience in Africa. Africa's always been seen, how Traore said, it's known as seen as the empire of slaves. And so they've continued to get raw materials from Africa for cheap, with the World Bank making having contracts with Africa so that they don't take care of their people. Okay, so we're gonna get the materials for cheap, and part of the deal is that your people don't benefit, and so that's why we look at Africa and it looks poor. I mean, it's not like that all over, but there's a level of ignorance that we have here about what's going on in Africa, because most of the time when we see commercials of Africa, it's some poor people and it's a little child that's sitting there and they got a fly right there, and that's what we've seen for the most part. Which and even in schools, when we're taught history, we're never taught anything about African history. We figure we came from Africa, but we don't know anything about it. We just could get Black history in the schools. They go on to snatching that out, because it's the pattern of erasing our history. And you probably wouldn't have believed it if you didn't see it right now. Trump just got up in there. He's like, yep, we're taking Black history out of the schools. Any statues we had about Black people, Black Lives Matter Plaza, rip that up. Any evidence of our impact, of our contribution, is consistently erased. And we can see it going back and back, because I do have studied beyond Black history. But yeah, for us here in America, let them tell it, there was nothing before slavery. I remember a friend of mine, actually the brother from the Patty Hut, one of the musicians, went to Morehouse. He asked one of his professors, yeah, so like, what was there? What was happening before we were here and enslaved? And he was like, there was nothing. There was only darkness. This is white professor telling him that. So that's been the narrative. That's been what it is. And so Flip the Script goes a little deeper. We about to flip this script. We're about to flip this script. The script has been flipped on us one time, which is what I'm describing right now, but we about to flip it back. So that's it. If you made it this far in the video, thank you for spending time with me as I reviewed my work. Flipped the script. Oh, I know what else I wanted to say about it. That yeah, they'll say that our words don't have meaning. It's connotative language, and then eventually it makes it to the dictionary. But again, is that us continuing to make contributions to society, but them generally being discounted as if we're here and we've done nothing. We've been here. People come here from other places, other countries and stuff, and they're like, yeah, black people are lazy. They haven't done anything. They haven't contributed anything to society. And then get up here and vote against our interests, like in this last election with Kamala Harris, straight up a black woman. And then when white folks turn on them like they do, now you want to call us to come help you after you was talking shit to us. So I don't know. It's real special. Unfortunate because I hate to see some of the things that are happening. We always do. We don't really like to see people suffer, and that's why we know that oppression. Whatever you're going through right now, we have been through it, and so that's how come we tend to show up and for people, for human rights. But this country voted for what we got going on right now. 70% of the electorate, they say this time, was white people, and they voted for what we got going on right now. So it's up to them to fix it, and it's never going to be right until people stop being content with seeing human rights violations against the other. All right. Have a good one. Peace and